دعونا نستمع لحوار خاص مع السيد راجيش المدير العام لجمعية مصنعي السيارات الهندية، ويدير الحوار السيد حليم أبو سيف الرئيس التنفيذي لشركة رادا للعلاقات العامة. فلتتفضلوا.
سيدات والسادة الحضور، الجلسة اللي معانا دي جلسة خاصة جدا. احنا مشرفنا النهارده اونلاين زي ما حضراتكم شايفين من الهند سيد راجيش مينون. سيد راجيش مينون، وهو المدير العام لجمعية مصنعي السيارات الهندية، وله تجربة خاصة في تصنيع السيارات في الهند. فخليني أنقل بقى الإنجليزية ونرحب بيه. Mr. Menon, thank you very much for being here. On behalf of the Egyptian automotive industry and everybody is here, we welcome you to join us. Greeting from Egypt. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. I can hear you very clearly. It's a pleasure to join from here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturers is a very important auto industry institution in India, representing vehicles manufacturers in India, covering passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and the 2- and 3-wheelers. First, I would like to know how India succeeded in establishing its own automotive industry. What can you tell us there?
So the Indian automobile industry in India, it's one of the fastest growing sectors. We started a journey in 1991, that's many years back, with the delicensing of the sector. And then subsequently it opened up for 100% FDI through the automatic route. Since then, all the global OEMs have set up their manufacturing facilities in India, ranging from the Korean players like Hyundai, Kia, to Japanese, which is Suzuki, Toyota, to German. So all OEMs have set up facility in India. In fact, the level of production of vehicles was 2 million in 91-92. It is now 28 million in 2024. So you can see how the industry has progressed. The various state governments have also played a role in creating an ecosystem for vehicle manufacturing in the country. And Indian automotive industry has therefore, because of these policies of both Government of India and state governments, have also done, of course, on its own, a lot of innovation and investment, which has resulted in India being one of the most, automotive industry being one of the most crucial players in the Indian economy.
Thank you very much. This is very enlightening. India has announced lately its ambitions for a green transition. Can you tell us what is India's strategy to achieve this goal?
So India's commitment towards sustainability is guided by the net zero target.
معلش غالبا الكونكشن قطعت، هيرجعوا يوصلوها تاني.
The government incentives, government policies like direct incentives to consumers for purchasing electrified vehicles and schemes. Presently in India, about 4% of passenger vehicles, 5.4% of two-wheelers, and more than 50% of three-wheelers sold are electrified.
Can you hear us now, Mr. Menon?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm sorry, can you repeat the answer because you were cut off? Thank you.
Yeah, I was saying, keeping in mind the Honorable Prime Minister's commitment in COP26, automobile industry is working towards this transition by working on different types of powertrains to complement the government's vision. And this has been coupled with government policies like direct incentives to consumers for purchasing electrified vehicles and schemes to promote manufacturing of electric vehicles in India. Presently in India, about 4% of passenger vehicles, roughly 5.4% of two-wheelers and more than 50% of three-wheelers which have been sold are electrified. We have a very less, which is the concessional GST of 5% for electric vehicles compared to around 28 to 50% GST applicable to other vehicles. And industry in itself through SIAM is also working on different campaigns on powertrains, which includes biofuels, on hydrogen, CNG, LNG, electrification, and of course, focus on circularity and road safety.
Thank you very much. As an expert in the automotive industry, how do you view the Egyptian market?
So Egyptian government's push towards making Egypt as a manufacturing and export hub by providing incentives for foreign investment will be very helpful in attracting local production capabilities. Infrastructure developments are very important to boost vehicle demand. So these efforts are also complemented by Egypt's free trade agreements, strategic geographical location, cost efficient and skilled labor, and a rapidly growing young market. Keeping this in mind, I think Egyptian automotive market does hold promising opportunities for growth and investment. This, of course, needs to be coupled with technological advancements to keep up with global changes. Specifically, I would say that Egypt can aspire to be a hub for vehicle manufacturing, catering to the growing African market, and Indian industry can be encouraged to look at Egypt from that perspective.
Thank you very much. As Egypt and India have a very long history in collaboration together, so how could the Indian companies benefit from Egypt?
So Egypt is one of the very key potential export destinations for Indian OEMs. In fact, presently, India's automobile exports to Egypt is very low. Passenger vehicle exports declined from 262 million US dollars in 21-22 to around $24 million in 2024, which is less than 1% of India's exports of passenger vehicles to the world. So there is clearly an opportunity of increasing exports in different segments, especially, of course, passenger vehicles, but we can look at other segments. And the important point is that income levels in Egypt are almost similar to that of India. Hence, vehicles developed and designed for the Indian market can align with the requirements of Egypt. So companies in Egypt can explore tying up with Indian vehicle manufacturers to look at the possibility of trade initially, followed by developing manufacturing facilities in both the countries. Both the governments can also, at their end, collaborate in terms of knowledge sharing for alternate powertrains. There's a lot happening in different powertrains. And there is already a framework in India of supply side and demand side incentives for electrified vehicles, which can be understood from what government of Egypt can do, keeping that in mind.
Thank you very much. Let's hope that we do more and more business between India and Egypt. From another perspective, will India membership in BRICS help increasing your exports?
So BRICS as a grouping, if I include the new 5 members which have been included, which includes Ethiopia, Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, BRICS as a grouping accounts for more than 30% of India's automobile exports, with major exports of passenger vehicle, which is nearly 41%, buses is nearly 52%, and commercial vehicle from the goods perspective is nearly 37%. This is, actually speaking, besides UAE, we don't have an FTA with any other country. So, and exports are majorly to Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and the UAE. So, therefore, there is clearly a potential to further increase India's exports to other countries in the BRICS grouping. And with countries' commitment to build a network to enable settlements in local currencies, trade can certainly be expected to further increase significantly.
Thank you very much. We know that Indian products are being designed right-hand drive. Do you plan to add production for the left-hand drive soon?
So Indian domestic market is entirely right-hand drive. But Indian OEMs have the capability and already exporting left-hand drive vehicles to the markets in the world, in different markets in the world. So we do have capability, and that can obviously be scaled up depending on how we improve our exports.
Thank you very much. Since you are the director of the SIAM, can you tell us about the nature of the Indian Automotive Manufacturer Association and its role, as well as the size of the Indian automotive market and the experts? Can you enlighten this part?
The Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, whom I represent, is a apex national body. We represent all the major vehicle and vehicular engine manufacturers in India. We focus on enhancing the auto industry's contribution to growth and development of the Indian economy and assist the industry to meet its obligations in terms of both economical and social obligations. So we have been playing a role, as I mentioned earlier, in our focus in the last few years has been on sustainable mobility and decarbonization. And we've been focusing on different parts of the different types of powertrain technologies and creating a campaign around it, ranging from ethanol to CNG, LNG to hydrogen to electrified vehicles, and focusing on circularity and road safety. As far as the Indian automotive industry is concerned, Indian automotive industry turnover is around 240 billion US dollars, which is a very large contribution to country's economy. We at present around 30 million jobs, out of which 4.2 million jobs are direct and 26.5 million jobs are indirect. So 30 million jobs are supported by the Indian automobile industry. And in fact, the automotive industry, in fact, exports vehicles and auto components amounting to about say 36 billion US dollars. So we have a significant role to play in the Indian economy.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Before wrapping up and thanking you, is there anything else would you like to say to the community here in Egypt?
I think just one statement is that we are willing to work closely on developing collaboration between India and Egypt. Not much has happened in that regard, so would like to take this opportunity to mention that as an institution, SIAM will be very happy to support in any form to develop more and more opportunities of collaboration and cooperation between India and Egypt.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward for more cooperation with you and with India. I want to thank you very much for your remarks. It has been very enlightening, and we hope that we meet very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
سيدات والسادة، أشكركم على حسن الاستماع وننتقل للجلسة الأخرى.